Hi family, and welcome to my channel. My name is Brittany. Listen, today's message is going to be titled, "The last shall become first, as it is in heaven, so it'll be on earth." Okay, this message is actually coming from Matthew 20, the parable of the workers in the vineyard. And I wanted to read a little bit of this message, okay? So the Lord, he went out, he agreed to pay a denarius to the first set of workers that he encountered in the AM, right? Early in the morning, 9 in the morning. He say, "Come out and work. I'm going to pay you whatever is right," right? This is according to the Lord. Then he went to the second set, and they were just kind of standing around, and this is in the afternoon time, and he says, the Lord asks, "Hey, why are you guys kind of just standing around?" They're like, "No one has hired us." So the Lord tells them, "Come on, follow me. You can go work in the vineyard," and he's going to pay them what's right? He's going to pay them what's due them. So when the evening came, the owner of the vineyard said to the foreman, "Call the workers and pay them their wages, beginning with the last one hired and going on to the first." Okay, the workers who were hired about 5 in the afternoon, they came and they each received their denarius, right? This was what was promised to them. Okay, they received their denarius. This is what they agreed to. That's how it is, y'all, a lot of the times. The workers, it says that, so when those came who were hired first, they expected to receive more. But is he not a God that can bless who he wants to bless, right? But the ones that were hired first, they expected to receive more, right? But each one of them, they received a denarius because that's what they agreed to. When they received it, they began to grumble against the landowner. Those who were hired last, they only worked an hour, right? And you have made them equal to us. This is what they were telling the Lord. So they moaning and groaning like, "We've been out here in the hot sun working all day. You done came and evened it up. This person has only been working for an hour. Why do they get to make the same amount of money that I got to work in the heat?" Okay, as it is today, right? Why some people may feel like you work with your mind. Maybe you work and you travel with your computer and you don't really have to put in the work. And maybe people around you are saying like, "Man, this is not fair." Maybe they're feeling envious or they're feeling jealous. Like, "This is not fair. This person get to live their best life. And I've been doing blood, sweat, and tears. I've been doing this job for 20 and 30 years. And here this person come with an idea, get to take their laptop and travel, and they making more money than me. This ain't fair." This is why God says favor. This is why the people say the favor ain't fair. But that's got to be biblical, because God says, "Do I not bless who I want to bless?" Did you not agree to a denarius, right? And so my daughter, when she was 4, she would always say, "You get what you get and you don't throw a fit," right? That type of energy. Okay, so anyway, the ones that were working for the last hour, and he said, and the people was groaning, saying that you have made them equal to us. So this is how God answered them. He says, "Take your pay and go. I want to give the one who was hired last the same as I gave you." He said, "Don't I have the right to do what I want to do with my own money?" Hallelujah. Or are you envious that I'm generous? Okay, because that's the season that a lot of you guys are stepping into, where God is getting ready to be generous. And maybe you work with your mind, or maybe you don't have to work that hard, or maybe God just gave you the idea and you just starting to play with it, and it goes crazy, it goes viral. People are searching for you now for what you have to offer. And again, people that's been doing this, they've been doing this for a very long time. They don't feel like you should be able to receive the same thing that they receive. But God is saying, "I'm getting ready to even it out for you few, right? Okay, the last will be first. Okay, so God is saying, if you are not in position yet, but you are staying persistent and you are staying consistent and where it is that he's leading you and what it is that he's showing you, and you're doing what it is that you're called to do, what you're passionate about, what the Lord has set with you and told you that you're good at for you to do, God says stay consistent, right? You're not in position yet, okay? But because you last, be grateful, because you're in position. You're in position to be first. And it happens in the world as well as it happens in heaven, okay? And then God says again, another person who you begin to work with your mind, or you're beginning to play with some ideas, and you're very talented and you're very creative, and God is saying, go forth and do that thing. And people who have been working, built retirement, maybe you're going to be the youngest person in your community. Maybe you might be the youngest person to do it. Maybe you might be the minority to do it. But God says, I placed it in your heart so that you can do it, because the last is getting ready to be first. For all of those that try and trust in the Lord, he's getting ready to put you on the hill, because God says he don't hide a light under the table. He put it on the hill for everybody to see. He put it on the mountain for everybody to see. So in your season, as you're grinding, working with the Lord, staying prayerful, keeping your head down, not worried about what's going on in the media, what's going on with this mess, God is elevating you. Okay? So the last shall be first. People just got to realize, like, you get what you get. You've agreed to your terms and conditions with the Lord, and you don't throw a fit. You cannot be mad because somebody's blessed. You cannot curse what God has blessed. You cannot close doors that God has opened. Okay? Just like you can't open doors that God has closed. Okay? And God is calling his last to be first in this season. Okay? And then the next thing that I wanted to mention with you guys was that I want to take you guys to Luke 19, okay? And we're going to talk about favor and how favor ain't never been fair. God blesses who he wants to bless. And God blesses the humble, meek, and mild that sit at his feet, prayerful. He blesses the righteous. The righteous does not go forsaken. And that's just how it is. And that's how it's always been. It don't matter if you put in the work and you do the blood, sweat, and tears. It don't matter if you've been doing this for years. It don't matter if you're the best person at it. God can still bless somebody with the idea today and have them to be very wealthy next month, tomorrow, next week, whatever it is that God chooses to do, because he's a generous God and he's generous to those he wants to be generous with. Okay, so let's talk about, we're going to actually talk about the parable of the 10 minutes, or the 10 talents. The talents were also called denaries. So they used them interchangeably in biblical times. Why? Because 10 talents, one talent was worth 100 drachmas, or 3 months of wages. Okay, so we're going to talk about how God distributed these talents. Okay, so the first man, he gave the man 10 minutes. He gave his first servant 10 minutes, or 10 talents. Okay, and he said, okay, go ahead, put it to work and come back. When his first servant came back, he had 10 more talents, or 10 more. We're just going to call them talents, because it depends on what version of the Bible you're reading, but it could be called talents. It could be called minas, and it also could be called denaries. So let's just go with talents. Okay, so he came back with 10 more talents, or 10 more denaries. Let's call it denaries. Okay, so he had doubled it. So the first servant doubled his talents, or doubled his denaries. And the Lord saw it and he said, you know what, this is good. Now that you have been grateful over the little bit, now you can take charge of 10 cities. So God says, now that you are grateful over a little bit, now that you show me that you can handle a little bit, I'm going to put you in charge of many. Okay, so the second servant came back and said, hey, I've taken my 5 servants, because he gives the second servant five talents, or 5 denaries, and he goes and he comes back with 5 more denaries. So he's also doubled his talents. Okay, all right, so that's cool. So the Lord says, well done, my good and faithful servant. Okay, but then there was a third servant. He only gave him 1 talent. And this servant said, you know what, I was scared to use my talent, so I didn't do anything with it. So his talent eventually turned into a curse, you could say, because the Lord said, hey, you didn't even try. Okay, if God gives you a talent, or God gives you the money, and you don't do anything with it, God says, you could have put my money in the bank and brought me back some interest. You could have did something, right? That's why we know God rewards those that try. Okay, but he didn't do anything. So guess what God did? He took the talent away. Now the one with 5 talents is like, okay, big guy, you getting ready to come and even it out, right? You getting ready to come and give me 5 more so I could be like the other servant and we both could have 10. No, God blesses who he wants to bless. That's why they say favor ain't fair. He thought God, the one with 5 talents, thought God was going to come even it out. No, God said, no, give me your talent, and I'm going to give your talent to the one that has 10 talents. Why? Because he already knew the heart of the servant that had 5 talents. God bless who he want to bless. God bless people humble at heart, right? So God says, no, I'm going to take your 1 talent. I'm going to give your 1 talent to the one that already have 10 talents, because that's the way he want to do it. And guess what? The one with the 5 talents, he started moaning and groaning. What did he say? Okay, this is Luke 19, 19 and 24. He says, I'm going to take the minas away from him and give it to the one that has 10 minas. So the servant that has 5, he says, he already has 10. Like, what you doing? Like, he was waiting on big God to come even it up. He says, he replied, I tell you that to everyone who has, more will be given. But as far as the one who has nothing, even what they have will be taken away. He says, but those enemies of mine who did not want me to be king over them, bring them here and kill them in front of me. Listen, okay? Listen to this, though. He said, that was very powerful. I'm going to read it again. Say, I tell you that everyone who has, more will be given to them. But as for the one that has nothing, even what he has will be taken away. Okay? So God is just showing that he's still in control. He's still in control. Now, he's saying that if you don't do anything with the talent that he gave you, you don't do anything with the money that he blessed you with, it's gonna dwindle away. It's gonna slip through your hands. And now these people that are on the earth, that are in their purpose, they're working with their talents, they're working with the money that God has blessed them with, they gonna have even more. God says it's a double up. It's a double up. He said, I'm going to give them even more. I'm going to ensure that God says, I'm not coming to even it out with your competition. I'm not coming to even it out with people that you in the same industry with. I ain't coming to even it out. God says, I want mine on the hill. So this is a season where God's people are going to be chosen. God's people are going to be first. And whoever has a problem with it, they can moan and groan all they want. But you cannot stop the hand of God. You cannot stop the move of God. You can't. Okay, God saying this is going to be a double up. And just like it was with the parable of the lost son, Luke 15 and 22. I want to look at that real quick as well. Luke 15, give me 1 second. Normally I have my pages marked, but not today because I'm in the car and I'm actually at the park with my kids. But let me tell y'all, I'm so fired up, right? So, where I'm at. Oh, boom. Okay. So the parable of the lost son, right? And so you have one brother who's on the right track. He's always done everything by the book. He's always done what the Lord has wanted him to do. And then you got one brother, his brother, who's actually out here. He's out here, you know, being with prostitutes. He's out here just living pretty much for the world. And, you know, he's running away from God. But you have the one brother that's always been close to God. Okay. So he's always been close to God. And God let him know. Jesus let him know. He said, my son, you are always with me and everything I have is yours. Right. So ask and you shall receive. But when the brother began to get blessed, right, because God rejoices over that one sinner that repents, right? So his brother decided to get his life together, repent, and come back to God. God says, let's crown him. Okay? Favor ain't never been fair. Let's crown him. God says to his servants, quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and the sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and let's celebrate. He was celebrating one lost son coming back to the father. And what the brother say? He says, your brother has come. He says, and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has him back safe and sound, just as the Lord wants it. Okay. But his older brother became angry. He said, look, all these years I've been slaving for you. I never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. So I could celebrate with my friends. He said, but when this son of yours who has squandered your property with prostitutes comes home, you kill the fattened cow for him? Favor ain't never been fair. It ain't never been fair. God said, I'm not coming to even up. The ones that's mine, you will know. The ones that come back from me, I'm going to rejoice. I'm going to set mine on the hill. Okay? I'm not evening it out. You got a mouth. Ask and you shall receive if it's your portion. But you cannot be mad that God is going to bless his children, because he's in the blessing business and he's in the generosity business. And wherever he want to put them in life, wherever he want to put them on a hill to be seen, to be showcased, to show his goodness, because he knows that once they get in the place, they're going to open up their mouth and let the people know who put them there. Okay? He already knows he gets the glory from their success, so he gonna put them on the hill. He gonna celebrate the ones that come back to Christ. He's going to celebrate with you guys. He's going to be giving you guys those things that you can testify and have a testimony about. Whereas maybe you ran from God and you did things your own way. And God is saying, when you come back, he'll give you the desires of your heart. He'll give you the things that you don't have to chase. They're going to start chasing you. Blessings will chase you. And not to say that we go after God for blessings, but that's just how this thing works. And you can be around people. You can have a church family. They've been going to church their whole life. They've been loving God their whole life. And they never really seen the big blessings of God for whatever reason that may be. But the minute you come back to God, you start being blessed. That's because God blesses who he want to bless. And who can deliver from the hand of God? Nobody. That's how this thing works. Favor ain't fair. God said, I'm not coming to even it up. God says, whoever has more, I'm going to give them more and more and more. One thing on the heels of another. Because that's the way that God does things. And he's a generous God. And he can do what he wants with his money. With his blessings. With his favor. He can do what he wants. He can give it to who he want to give it to. And a lot of times, the underdog, the sheep becomes the goat. More often than not, the underdog becomes on top. That's just how it works. This is why you don't underestimate people. This is why you don't put people down, because you never know who will be in position tomorrow. You never know who will be over you tomorrow. You work a job and you putting down a janitor, and then this person hit the lottery and they come back and buy the company. Now you work for them. You never know who God want to bless. And this is why it's always best. It's always best. Never talk down on nobody. Never talk about nobody. Never get so much in the position, even when God put you in the position, to talk down on others or be down on others. Okay? Because God is saying more denaries, less time. God is saying, I'm getting ready to bless. For those who have, they're going to have more. And for those who don't want to do nothing with what they have, they're going to even lose that. And that's that. That's Bible. That's Bible. Okay? So you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. That's the message. God is getting ready to bless his children in this season. And people just not going to like it. Why are people not going to like it? Because you're not going to have to do the blood, sweat, and tears for it. Maybe your ideas is getting ready to make you wealthy. And not everybody wants wealth. And wealth can look different to different people. But God is saying, I'm going to be behind your elevation. That's the difference. They worked, they grind, they did blood, sweat, and tears. They read books and went to seminars or whatever. God said, I'm just going to give you the idea. You don't have to tarry for it. I'm just going to give you the idea. And then you go forth and do. That's why it's so important to be at the foot of the Lord. So you could go forth and do as he has called you to do. And don't worry about others. Because it's just the operation of how God works. Right? Favor ain't fair. Okay, you're getting ready to be placed on the hill. You're getting ready to have more money and less time. You're getting ready to enjoy what the retirees are enjoying at 65. You're getting ready to do it at 35, 45, because that's the order of God. That's the order of those who sit at the feet of God and are called according to his purpose. That's how it works. You're getting ready to have a platform that's going to blow up. Now somebody who has went to school all their life, someone who has all these accolades and degrees, you pick up your camera and you do what you love to do, and God is getting ready to bless it. Why? Because his children are being blessed in this season. That's the message. Favor ain't fair. Favor don't have to be fair. God ain't coming to even it out. Once he start blessing you, he's not going to stop blessing you. He's going to take from those that are lazy and not doing anything with their talents and their money, and he's even going to give that to you. Because that's how we go. Favor ain't fair. Okay? You're going to be blessed. And when you step into this season of blessings, he ain't going to stop blessing you until he want to stop blessing you. So whoever don't want to see you blessed, whether it's money, whether it's love, whether it's success, entrepreneurship, whatever it is, they going to have to be sick. Because God blesses who he wants to bless. And a lot of the times it's those who have been last, those who have been overlooked, those who have been the underdog, the black sheep of the family, the black sheep of the business, black sheep of the community, don't nobody know your name. Those are the people that spring forth from what it seems like nowhere. They just spring forth. That's the message. God blesses who he wants to bless, but I feel like somebody's going to be double blessed. God's going to double it up just for you. God ain't going to make it even for nobody. Nobody that's in competition with you, secret competition with you, think they going against you. Y'all in the same field. Y'all are not the same. God is saying, when you have, he going to keep on giving. You just got to stay faithful, stay at the foot of the Lord, have your steps be ordered by the Lord. Okay? Keep your faith. Keep working with your head down. All this mess, all this, social media scrolling, anything that's not productive to what you need to be doing for the Lord, where the Lord is leading you, let it go. Any relationships that you need to let go of that's not being productive and going with you forward, let it go. Because God says, when I bless you, I want you to be in the right place at the right time around the right people. Because it's going to be a double up. And when he start, he going to stop when he getting ready to stop. He going to stop when he get ready to stop. And it doesn't matter who don't like it. It don't matter who didn't see it coming. It don't matter who didn't want to see it, or who didn't think it would happen, or who didn't believe in you. It don't matter. That's the surprise about God. That's what he got for y'all. So that's the message, y'all. God getting ready to double it up. It ain't never going to be fair. When God start blessing you, he not going to stop until he get ready. So however blessed you about to be, as long as you stand obedient to God, as long as when you get to that place, you open up your mouth and you let the people know that it was God, he going to stop when he get ready. He going to stop blessing you when he get ready, whenever he get ready. Versus the people who've been working hard all their life, working hard towards retirement, working hard, going to school and all their life. You ain't got a lick of schooling, and you pick up your camera and that makes you rich. And at first, when you're doing your thing, maybe, ain't that many people checking for you, people laughing at it, whatever. Just like Noah in the ark, stay building. Stay building. I say anything you building, give it 2 years. Just like I just said in another video, give it 2 years. Okay, 2 years where you don't expect nothing, and 2 years where everything that you're earning off of that opportunity, you're investing it in your business so that you can grow. But give it 2 years expecting nothing, and watch God move for you. Watch God move for you. That's the message, y'all. God getting ready to double it up. He ain't coming to make it fair to appease others. He's coming to double it up for his children. And that's the message, y'all. Bye.